we're going to inspire you some more. So, as we know, HubWeek is all about the future. It's a festival of the future. And we are going to be introducing a new format that you're going to see right now that we're going to do throughout the next 3 days. It's called the Views of the Future series. And here's where we're introducing a number of up-and-coming leaders that are really building the future here in Boston that we want to showcase. And they're going to share their insights and share their vision of the future with you. So, our first view of the future is from Sandra Richter, who is the co-founder and CEO of SUFA. And you've probably seen them around town. They are the kiosks where you can charge your phone, and they use a solar power to do that. So it's really interesting innovation, and now they do all kinds of new things that Sandra will tell you about. So Sandra.
Hello, everyone. Exciting day. I see lots of familiar faces. Danielle, right here in front. Hi. Wow, what an event you guys put together. I remember being part of the first HubWeek event, and lots of small little events happening in the Kendall area. It was a ton of fun, but this is a whole nother level. So congratulations to all of you, first of all, for making this happen. And thanks for the invitation to talk about the future. Future Forum taking place in this wonderful dome is really exciting to me. And I love architecture. I love domes like this. But I also love this. So this is one of my favorite parks in Berlin. And what you see here is really people coming together. People making friends, sharing stories, and being part of nature. That's pretty cool. However, and I see a lot of you with your phones right now, a lot of our lives are spent online. We connect online, we make friends online, we share stories online, and that's amazing. I can actually go and talk to my friends all over the globe, and I wouldn't want to miss it. But what if we use technology to foster interactions in the real world? So what if we're in that park, in our city, where our public spaces are places where we truly connect face to face? I can see your smiles, I can hear your stories, and that's something that we at SUFA are very passionate about. So the question that keeps all of us at SUFA up at night is, how can we make technology that is really, truly human-focused, where we can connect with one another, share stories, and build neighborhoods that are exciting? And we're putting a lot of time, money, energy in our cities. Look at this right here today. We're bringing people together in the real world. It takes an enormous amount of effort, but I think that's what we really need to strive to do. And so, as you mentioned, we started off with a very simple device. It's a bench, 4 bolts in the ground, and you have a place to sit. So one of the reasons that we started building smart city technology, we wanted to start with something that's really human, that's street level, where we bring people together and get them to actually interact with one another. A lot of smart cities are very invisible. So we have sensors in our lampposts, we have sensors in our streets, in our cars, but we can't actually often see what it is that they do, and they're actually not geared to bringing people together. And so the power of power is quite incredible. Like, you see people in hotel lobbies hanging out at like plugs, or at airports sitting on the ground. And so what we've been seeing with the SUFA bench is really that people come together, charge their phones, and start a conversation. And so we were wondering, though, how can we take that a step further? How can we make technology that connects people? And so we just launched the SUFA sign. You'll see a couple of them outside. And what is really exciting about the SUFA sign that it truly is communication in the real world. So the SUFA sign is a 42-inch electronic paper display, so it's kind of like a gigantic Kindle. And it shows things that are happening in your neighborhood. It tells the stories of the people who live there. And it shows transit information. So it's really like a flexible communication surface where you can put the information that's relevant to a community on there. Outside, you'll see we have actually ones with Twitter feeds, because I know for HubWeek, Twitter is important. And so we're showing what people are talking about at HubWeek. But what makes this so different than transit screens or other big digital displays on our streetscape? The fact that you're all going to be able to post to it. So we developed SUFA Talk, which is a platform where you can basically post to the SUFA sign with under 3 minutes. So it's as easy as posting on Facebook, and it gives you an opportunity to post into your neighborhood. So let's say I live in Kendall Square, I want to talk about an event that's going on, and so I'll be able to post it up onto the SUFA sign. We're actually giving away $500 of free airtime credits. So if you sign up for SUFA.co sign up, you're going to be able to post onto the SUFA sign, which is in Kendall Square, in the Fenway, and actually is going to find its way into all types of cities because it's so easy to install. So we took the same design principles from the SUFA bench. So the SUFA sign is actually solar powered. So you see here the images are changing, and it's not even wired to the ground. So it's plug and play, no wires required, 4 bolts, which makes it also very inclusive. So like neighborhoods that might not get the flashy, high-tech, expensive kiosks can actually now have something that fits way better into their neighborhood where they can start posting content to it. Tim, who's sitting here actually in the audience, Tim, do you want to wave? He works at SUFA now for a while. He worked at American Towers before, so he was one of the people who helped us bring big cell phone towers into our cities to stay connected. And so he's been spearheading bringing SUFA signs all over the US, and he actually just came back from Atlanta last night, where he was walking all the different sites for a large SUFA sign rollout that we're very excited about. Who of you outside has seen a SUFA sign, a SUFA bench? Yeah, awesome. So one reason why we wanted to be part of HubWeek and why we're investing a lot of time is to make sure that people actually get to interact and see the technology. And at SUFA, we have an amazing privilege of shaping our cities. I mean, it's kind of a dream come true that you can like get up in the morning and put wonderful street furniture into the city and see how people interact with them. And for us, this is really only the beginning. The SUFA bench is now in 75 cities. Who would have thought? All started at MIT, was an MIT brainchild. We launched the SUFA bench at the White House with President Obama, which was amazing, a couple of years ago. And now fast forward 3 years, we have thousands of people charging their phones on our benches and sparking conversations around solar and renewable energy and smart cities. And now with the sign, we can actually start bringing that dialogue to a surface and have people talk about what they care about so deeply, which is their city. So for me, it's all about bringing people together. I think HubWeek is one of those examples. I hope all of you are coming to the party tonight so that we can actually all spend a lot of time. And I would love to open for questions. If people want to know what it is that we're putting into your city. Who here lives in Boston? Who doesn't live in Boston? Where are you from? Arlington? Oh, okay, cool. So that's right around the corner. Yes, I think we're really privileged in Boston to be able to have such an amazing community that makes things happen so that we can start experiencing new technologies and what this theme of like smart cities is. And you're gonna hear a panel after this here about smart cities. And one thing that I want you to keep in mind while you're thinking about that is like, how can we make a smart city that is also a social one?
All right, last question.
Thanks so much for coming. So you said that you've expanded into 75 cities. I believe one of the recent cities has been Aberdeen in Scotland. Can you talk?
Very informed.
Can you talk a bit about what are some of the qualities that the cities that have been easiest to get into share? What does a city usually have that makes you think that it's a great candidate to expand into? And what have been some of the qualities that distinguish some of the more difficult cities to get into?
So it all comes down to people at the end. So whenever we decide we want to work with a city, we normally get a call from someone who's very excited. And so you have to really have a sponsor that goes and like spearheads it through all the politics. That's definitely helpful. They need to have some sort of a position of power or a position of voice. So what I mean by that is, for example, Jennifer Lawrence, who works for the city of Cambridge. I hope a lot of you know her. She's awesome. And so one, she was really excited about what we're doing with SUFA, but two, she also really knows how to navigate the city. So like everyone in the city knows her, so she'll go and she'll talk with everyone. So stakeholder alignment is really important. And then two, having some sort of like pilot budgets so that you can actually go and start like investing time, money, people, resources into doing something well. Because at the end of the day, you want to also communicate that you're doing this and like involving people. So that's been really helpful for us. I think cities where it's been hard is when there's no clear decision maker. So it's like oftentimes government it's very flat and very wide, right? And so then there's cities that are more city council heavy and some that are more mayor heavy. And so it's always best if someone can go and say like, we're trying this out, and then we'll see how it goes. So I would say that's the key. And then the people at the end who live in the city need to love it. So in Boston, we actually did kind of like a crowdsourced, where do you want your next sofa bench to be? And the city said they never had like that much civic engagement of people saying like, I want one in my park. And so the people make, again, all the difference.
Okay, we'll do one more.
I'm curious about the signs that you are coming out with. How is it that you plan to keep it a community investment and not just people putting advertisements or companies coming in and kind of taking over that community piece?
So that's what I obsess about every day. So I think one of the major underlying topics with all of that is kind of like, what are the algorithms, so to speak, right? Like, so when you look at the internet, the algorithms decide what you see or what you don't see. And we always think about algorithms as these like evil technology, software lines of code. But at the end of the day, there's a human writing them, right? And so at SUFA, we have a team of people who really deeply care about that, making sure it is community focused. And so Juhi, who's back there, by the way, you want to wave? Also from the SUFA team, she's working on involving artists and the community and teaching them how to use the SUFA sign and getting content on there. So if you have content you want to share, Juhi is your go-to. And the way we kind of think about it is we're putting like percentages in place, like so and so much percent goes to only local businesses, and that's the percentage that goes to people like you and me. And I think that's really important when setting up any sort of technology, thinking about how it's going to be used. So that's how we try to achieve that. I promise we're going to have lots of great community content on our streets. Cool. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to come to this talk, and hope to see you all at the party. And thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Sandra, thanks so much.